Alright, welcome back to our Pokemon Go series. It's been a few days. In fact, I have to go back a little ways in our playlist to find the last episode. And there is an unfortunate, but good reason for some of it. So, what you have not seen on camera is we had a friend join the adventure team, and we made a video about it. And when I upload the video, I had to take the video down because the friend unfriended us the same day after we sent a gift. And it sort of defeated the entire purpose of the video. So, that happened apparently. But the good news is we are back again. And let's go ahead before we even get started and get the friends who have been there since the beginning a proper shout out. So Alex 17075, thank you for keeping up with us. And again, if their gifts are not from your country, make sure to pin them so you get credit for the Skybug challenge. We cannot do the auto catcher while recording these videos, so if you always wonder why I never have it on, that's the reason. Mikkews still can't send a gift to. Elton 978, again, thank you for being rock solid. Love the Pikachu mask. I am definitely not that good at fighting to get the Libre Pikachu. Can't send a gift to Gina. And FC 43 19 34 69 69 13, rock solid since the beginning. Thank you, my friend. And you'll see periodically, since all of these are from a different country than the US, Skybugs will pop up periodically. Again, thank you, Bacca, literally the originator of our series. And just like that, we are hatching eggs. 5K, what do we have? Tyrant. Is it a good one? Go ahead and check. No. Alright, so let's get ourselves set up here. We have, unfortunately, all 2-kilometer eggs because we can't seem to break out of that stigma for some reason. And anytime you see Stardust boosted Pokemon, don't even wait for them. Make sure to nab them. Meowth in the bag. 500 Stardust, basically the same as Paris. Adventure Sync. And the Meowth. Now notice we attempted the quick catch there and it did not work. Again, it's because we pulled the berries to the right. I still have no idea why they changed it, but you apparently just have to pull it up for it to work consistently. Alright, free items from City Safari. What do we get? Basically Stardust and Potion. Got it. Now in our situation, we have still the Community Day Shadow Metagross to mess with. This is the one with max attack and almost perfect stats. So let's go ahead and get him back on the field. Berry, pitcher, rub, and done. Gotta polish that shiny shell. Let's go. Alright, so we have full evolved Octillery. Just wandering the wilds these days, apparently. Scyther, anytime I see you, you're getting clicked. And it's not even because I need a Scyther. He's just that cool. Okay, you're going to be a bit of a pain with your long throw distance back there. So let's go ahead, as soon as we get these all spun, and check what our new instance has to offer us, or what our new challenges are. This way, pup. So I'm noticing we do have a new style of raid out now, the Dynamax. Let's see what we do. Come back another day to collect more max particles. So this, in one sense, is a bit of a blind reaction for me on the new system. I've intentionally not looked anything up about it, just so I could get a feel for what they're trying to do now with the Dynamax and Gigantamax Pokemon. Wigglytuff. Boop. Since you are an evolution, we want to make sure we see the stars fly up. Got it. Done. Now we're getting close to Pup's snack spot, so we'll wait until he gets his treat, and then we'll kick on the daily incense. Those who have followed this series before, you always know that that one is Raw's Fountain. It's because you have benches all along the fountain that he always stops at. In the meantime, let's go ahead and check out what the research is. Okay, so we are intentionally exploring the Dynamax event with this. Collect MP from 3 power spots. Walk 5 kilometers, basically, and collect 500 MP, or max particles. Alright. Gower calling. Not even sure what that was, but we got a charge TM out of it. No. Which adventure do we like the best? Now, when I played Sword and Shield, I picked Sobble. Inteleon, pretty darn good. Scorbunny. It looks cute. I like the way its final evolution looks, but I'm sorry, I can't replace Blaziken. I mean, Blaziken chicken is literally the meme of my life. So, Grookey I've never been a fan of, so Sobble, you've still got it. 007 water form. Alright, Purify 2 Shadow Pokemon, that's not that task. Catch 3, take Snapshot of a Wild. Okay. The Snapshot may be tricky with the recordings, but we're going to give it a shot. So basically just flip over to the camera, take a shot, done. Luckily it didn't screw anything up. Alright, and now we are to Pup's stopping spot. So let's go ahead, cut, and restart the video right as soon as we grab the Paris. Again, always prioritize these Stardust boosted Pokemon. That will be the best for us going forward. And spin, spin, spin. Cut and restart. Still in the bowl. In the meantime, let's go ahead and claim our research and move on to the next page. So there is our Sobble, since we chose him as our starter. Boop. Boop. Right in the nose he doesn't have. Alright. Is it a good Sobble? Not even close. Alright, so Wigglytuffs for some reason just keep popping up. I don't know if they're part of the new starter event that's going on or what it is. But we'll absolutely take advantage of all the weather boosted stuff. And since we're getting so many normal types, let's go ahead Name, tags, Mega, and let's take full advantage of that by Mega Evolving. Where is she at? Lopunny. That way we cover ourselves on all the normal types floating around, as well as anything that's part fighting as well. Two of the more common types. Alright. So there is our shiny Mega Lopunny. Let's go back. And of course, the second we do that, they're going to throw Vulpixes everywhere. That's okay. We know what we did. We know why we did it. Spearow, you should be part normal. Yep. There we go. They're not messing with our concentration here. Let's continue. And try not to get hit by the sprinklers. Just remember, I do it so you don't have to. Alright, let's move on down the road. While we're doing it, go ahead and have the incense ring in the background. Who knows, maybe we'll get another Galarian bird to not catch. Or in this case, a Voltorb that just won't be shiny. Literally, he hasn't since the beginning. But somehow I have the Hisuian one shiny, which doesn't really make much sense. Alright, pup, this sprinkler is literally watering the path. Let's get this away. It's like we're playing one of those old 2D platformers. Trying not to get hit by the swinging stream of water. There we go. We play video games, pup. We weren't gonna get wet. Let's go. Alright, back to what we were doing. Here is the infamous bell tower. So if you remember, this is kind of in the center of most things on the western side of campus. So you can literally go to the bell tower and spin about 7 different stops. And there's more Stardust boost. Absolutely love when they do these. If you're gonna give us wild nonsense, at least make some things worth it. And right behind them, Paris and her Stardust boosted. So just those two alone gave us 1,000 Stardust. You absolutely want to take advantage of these as often as you see them. Technically more since we had the Mega Evolution on, and ones that are weather boosted like Paris. So apparently we have to spin 25 stops. That's not going to be a problem here. If you do get stuck with that one, and you are in a rural area, just keep going back and forth between the 1 or 2 that you do have. You're able to spin them again, I believe it's 5-minute intervals. Alright, so far not too much interesting on the Adventure Instance yet. Keep moving. Lillipup, not shiny. Tangela, not shiny, though he does have a really pretty shiny. There's Grookey. Come to think of it, I don't even think I've seen one of you in the wild yet. So we want to watch it through to make sure we have them registered in the decks. Otherwise, he's keep popping up as a new Pokemon. And yes, he's in there already. Fampy, who can notoriously be difficult to catch. Eevee. Hi, foster child. You literally give me identity. So where did the whole Eevee thing ever start to begin with? I started playing these games way back in Red and Blue when they first came out on handheld, and always fell in love with the idea of the different Eevee evolutions, which at the time I thought were dogs, not foxes. But really fell in love with the fact that you could evolve them into so many different types of things. So every time I played the game, I had both versions. I think I played Red first and then grabbed Blue. But in both versions, I had all 3 evolutions on the team. I even tried to make regular Eevee work just for a heck of it. And absolutely dominated all my friends with the Eevees. Then when Pokemon Go actually came out, here's Chansey. You absolutely want to make sure to catch just because of how good Blissey is for your gyms. And Chansey if there's already a Blissey in the gym. And so when Pokemon Go came out, right off the bat you could get the evolutions. And Vaporeon in the very beginning of Pokemon Go was just about indestructible. So the name really just worked itself in. Always used evolutions all throughout my main series plays, and the fact of how good Vaporeon specifically was in the game in the beginning. I was basically the legendary Eevee. Had the maxed out Vaporeon, Jolteon, Flareon, which I think I still have in the bag somewhere. That thing took down many gyms back in the day, just with how stupid fast it attacked. And naturally, when more evolutions came out, Umbreon basically defined what I mainly use. Great League, Ultra League. It's led me almost all the way to the final rank in Go Battle League. So that's more or less where all the Eevee love came from. It has nothing to do with Doom or any of the other games that we play. But I didn't want to be known by 5 different names. You know, my PlayStation screen name, my singing tag, ISA, which is just Internationally Successful Artists. That's our global singing group that I'm the head of. And Legendary Eevee, so I just consolidated them all into one. And now, with the gigantic Pumpkaboo out of the way, you gotta love those adventure incense. You really have no idea what's gonna spawn. Continue on our path here. We need to get across the road, pup. And if you can hear it, we're walking past an air conditioner. Alright, cut and restart. Alright, so now we are back again for the final run of this walkthrough. Again, I always try to keep these about 20-30 minutes. Our walks go a little bit past that, but that gives enough time to run out the daily adventure incense and get most of the daily stuff out of the way. Alright, so that's more or less what is going on with the Legendary Eevee origin story there. Obviously, by merits, I guess if you would say, singing is my main thing. I've sung literally since I was 5, and transitioned into rock and metal back in the teenage years, and that's more or less what I stuck with going into adulthood and thereon. I was in a lot of smaller bands, AC/DC tribute band. I was in an Judas Priest cover band, and have performed in West Virginia, Virginia, Pennsylvania, South Carolina, and North Carolina. Either karaoke or various singing contests. So that is the thing I've been doing more than anything. But gaming, obviously, the biggest part of my de-stressor throughout the day. Sometimes with some of those Doom maps, you wouldn't imagine that, but it is very rewarding when you get challenged with something that literally blows your head off about 20 times in one setting, and finally find a way through the trap or puzzle to the other side. So, definitely like the idea of being challenged, but being able to overcome as well. Now, the good news is we have caught up on our recordings this time. We fell behind because of not being able to really work on it over the weekend. Normally, we try to get our videos recorded about a day or two in advance so that I can just post them up when it's their time of the week. But Saturday messed us up. Basically lost the entire day because of some errands we had to run about an hour away from us. So we're back caught up again, and now we can get to fun stuff like this. Now, I could just only post when we find something really neat, like a shiny or something, but to me that's pretty disingenuous, because that's not the experience that everyone who plays Pokemon Go is going to have. A lot of times you're just going to walk around and just find the mundane or everyday stuff. Some people will call it's just the grind of the game, but I don't look at it so much as a grind. It's more like it's getting you out of the house, it's getting you to walk around. It works really well if you have a dog that needs to walk, like I do in the mornings. That way you all get out, you all get your daily exercise, and at the same time you're ultimately making progress in the game. Even if you don't get a shiny every day, or something cool. For instance, by the time I get done with this, Pup will have walked half of his steps for the day. I would usually get about half of mine for the day. And when the wife gets home, the dog's already been walked. I've already got part of my exercise done. And it just saves time overall for when I get home and don't have to do all that. So, continuing on, so far our daily incense, let's see here, has not given us too much except for a few evolutions to work with. In this case, Quilava. The Pumpkaboo was a nice surprise, especially with the Halloween event right around the corner. Definitely my favorite event of the year. Because I remember the original Halloween event when Ghastly and Drowsy was the two main featured things. And they gave you bonuses to Stardust, experience everything. It was like the entire world of Pokemon Go was flipped on its head when that first Halloween event came out. All of a sudden, you could double the progress you've been doing since the beginning? Absolutely. And we had entire parks full of people just camping out just about all night. I mean, the parks actually extended their hours because they knew so many people were coming. And I remember being there till almost midnight, catching Drowsies and Ghastlies. Partly why I have so many different Gengars and still thousands of candy for it on top of it. And of course, Hypno has always been a strong staple in Go Battle League, Great League. So just a few more spins and we can finally get off that page. But as you can see, with this campus, you're never in need of spins. I see they put flags out for the 9/11 service. Part of the reason I got so far behind is I did a 9/11 special on the channel for Doom. Every Sunday night primetime slot goes to either a random game or a random Doom WOD. Ideally just a single level one since it's a Sunday special. And I wanted to do something for 9/11, so I picked the WOD that was basically a recreation of New York City that was made back in 2012. What I didn't know at the time was the neat thing that they actually do with the Twin Towers. It's a progressing story where you start on the west side of town, you work your way over to the center where the Twin Towers are, and ultimately to the eastern side. But once you get to the final area, the eastern side, it actually forces you back to the middle where the towers are to hit the switch to open the exit of the map. But what's neat is when you make your journey back to the center, the towers have already been replaced with the One World Trade Center that we have now. So I think it was really neat. It basically told a story of this is what the skyline used to look like, this is what it looks like now. I thought it was a great tribute for 9/11. I remember when that happened, as most people always like to say in their stories, we were at school. Well, it was true. I mean, the first one happened, I believe it was like 8:50 in the morning. So we were in English class. I had just started, I believe, freshman year of high school. And I absolutely hate English with a passion. I am a design engineer, mechanical. So give me 3D modeling software, give me drawings and bill of materials to do. I want nothing to do with the English language. That's why sometimes it's a bit of an awkward struggle doing all the commentary on these videos. But if anything, it helps me work on it. Because when I graduated high school, I was actually put in remedial English in college. Because that is just not my forte. So I was in English class, definitely not looking forward to it. First day of class, and that happened. And I remember they pulled it up on the TV screens. We were all watching it live as it went down. And we watched literally until the end. They didn't let us back out of class. They kept us basically locked down in the schools there. So we got to see the entire thing from after the first one was hit, because the first one had already been hit when the footage started. And we saw it all the way through until both buildings collapsed. And then they let everyone out of school if the parents could come get us. They didn't even let the school buses take people home. So, Pawpaw actually had to come get me at the time because Mom was working. So, that was definitely an experience you'll never forget. And it seems like every generation, so every 30 years of people, always have something similar like that to say. You know, for me it was 9/11. For the generation after, it was COVID. How COVID really stopped the world. And generations before me, you're thinking of things like Desert Storm, things like the Cold War, the Korean War, things like the major ones, the World War II one. I know Pawpaw, his big thing he always used to talk about was his big generational thing was the Great Depression they had to survive through. So, no matter who you are, no matter when you're born, there's going to be a major event like that. You wish it wasn't, but let's be honest, history has always told the same story. And am wise enough to have learned from it by now. So just remember that that is a part of your story when it happens. And it's something you can cherish and share along to others. It's what preserves our history, and it's what helps redefine the era that we grew up in. It was shocking to us, something we would never forget. Especially since we were in a class we didn't even care about, and at the time couldn't fully understand. We see buildings collapse, but you don't think of all the people that was involved and all the people whose lives got completely altered from that moment. You know, when you're in school, you don't think of things like the crap they were breathing and the cancers they would get later down the line. But that's why I wanted to do something special for 9/11. And if you've not seen the series, I have it in its own playlist on the channel. But again, to any of those who were affected by it, just know that we love you and we care. It was a huge moment in all of our lives. As you can see, as far as Pokemon Go goes, not a whole lot worth mentioning as far as shinies have gone in this trip, but at the end here, let's go ahead and check our progress for what we have accomplished in our little chit chat this morning. So again, we want to search age 0, which is the last 24 hours, and since we know we didn't get any shinies, 4-star. See if we got any hundos. No. 0 attack. So hopefully we got something that's good in PvP. No. So then, if we don't have either of those, we go 4 attack and come on now. 4 attack and 3-star, which will at least make them viable for raids. In this case, we have 2 potentials. It don't even matter what Tangela is. He is not made for raiding regardless. And I'm not sure why it suggested him. He's not 4 attack. Oh, 3. That's why. Autocorrect is messing with us. 4 attack and 3-star. Okay, neither one of those are raid Pokemon, so it really doesn't matter what their stats are. We'll look at them anyway. So that would not have flown either way, because both of them have low defense and HPs. So nothing of major merit today, but that's okay. That's really the purpose of these walks. We got ourselves out, we got ourselves moving, and we had ourselves a fun chit chat along the way. So the good thing is, now that we are caught up on videos, we can finally get back to this on a more regular basis. So again, thanks for joining us, and as always, I end off with the friend code if you also want to be shouted out with the gifts as well. There it is if you want to copy it on screen, and we will see you all next time. Take care.